Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Your Gray Matters podcast. This week, Neil's going to talk to you about investment opportunities, alternative investment opportunities, things that you don't have to tolerate that you may not like about current investment opportunities, as well as a whole lot more. So remember to click that like, subscribe, follow, join button, click the bell if you're on YouTube to be notified of any new episodes. And as always, email us at yourgraymatterspod@gmail.com if you have any questions. Thanks very much. Have a great time.
Hi, everybody. I'm Neil from Your Gray Matters. Thanks for tuning in again this week. Well, the fall is coming. Change is upon us. Summer is ending. I hope that you've had a great summer. The purpose of Your Gray Matters is simply to provide you with miracles, solutions that exist already, but you may not be aware of them. You know, I love to say that the human mind cannot be defeated. And over the last 17 weeks, we've seen some pretty cool solutions. But I was reading something today that really caught me. It simply said, what one tolerates, one cannot change. Think of that. What one tolerates, one cannot change. And I got thinking, Your Gray Matters, our solutions perhaps can help you with change. You don't need to tolerate what you don't want to happen. Let's review some of the things that we've talked about, and let's take a look at what's going to happen over the next few weeks. You know, I speak to people who are just finding in these times that they're lacking money. Their plans have just not worked out. They've got bills to pay. They're not taking that holiday. They're tolerating things that they don't want to tolerate. Well, let's talk about how to change them. If you are in a situation where you have equity in your home, there are ways to access it, and it can be for good reasons. Now, people our age normally think of reverse mortgages. Nothing wrong with reverse mortgages when they're used in the right application and for the right purposes, and that they are fitting into the right scenario. But there are many other ways to access your equity. And it's interesting because you may want to go to the bank and try and access some of your equity, and that may work. But quite often, they may have a lack of opportunity for you because of their own rules and regulations, but you're not done yet. As I said, there's a reverse mortgage, but you don't have to go that way either. Equity lending is a terrific way of accessing your money. You've worked hard, you've made your payments, and now you've built up ownership in your home. When you go to look at accessing your equity and the bank says no, and reverse mortgage just isn't right for you, you can come to a mortgage broker. I'm one. There are many others. And we know of lenders. They may not be banks, but they may be what's called B lenders. B lenders have their own ways of approaching equity release. You may qualify, you may not. But the whole idea of accessing your equity can really fit in to lenders who are called private lenders. Private lenders have a very different way of approaching lending you money. They're not usually looking at your income. They're not usually looking at your credit rating. They're not usually looking at other things that other lenders look at in the banks. They're only interested in how much you need, how much equity you have, and what your exit strategy is to get out of the loan at a set prescribed time. These are amazing loans. We've even done a few where the people accessed their equity, but they were just in a situation where they didn't have the income to facilitate a regular mortgage. Most mortgages require payments, as you know. But there are equity loans that actually do not require you to make regular monthly payments. Again, just an idea for you not to tolerate the situation that you're in and to make those changes that you want. If you want more information for that, of course, contact me at yourgraymatterspod@gmail.com. Hey, for those of you who are investors or who want to invest, or you're just tolerating a return that you just don't like, you're fed up with it, there are ways to have higher returns. Again, everyone has to be understood. Every opportunity has to be thoroughly investigated. But let me tell you that in the world of private equity, you can make investments in real estate. You can go to the stock market too. You can invest in mutual funds. There's nothing wrong with these great vehicles. But if you're looking for fixed rate, reoccurring, regular income, I'll tell you, that passive income with a fixed rate allows you to know exactly what you're getting. You don't have to get up in the morning, turn on the TV, look at the stock market. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but if it isn't what you want, then investing in these fixed rate alternative investments can be really good for you. Again, you don't have to necessarily tolerate what you're not enjoying in the world of investing. There are ways to make changes. We can help you with that, and we've spoken to you about that. Visit episode 2 of the Your Gray Matters podcast. And again, we're here to help you if you would like to learn more. Another area that people are tolerating unhappiness when they're not aware that they can maybe have their dreams, they can change this, is in the area of buying a home. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have gray hair. I hope that you've had the ability to purchase your home. But you may have kids or grandkids who have just simply lost the dream of home ownership. You know, if you've been watching these podcasts, that I love rent to own. Rent to own has two very specific advantages. One for the tenant buyer, the other for the investor landlord. As a tenant buyer, your kids, your grandkids, or yourself, or someone who you know, again, who's tolerating this loss of owning a home dream, you can speak to them about rent to own. Imagine a scenario where people are able to get underwritten to see whether they qualify for a mortgage. You know, not getting a mortgage isn't necessarily related just to whether they have enough down payment. There can be credit challenges. A person could be new to the country. They may not have a full-time job, but they have a part-time job and they're heading to a full-time job, but they want to buy a home now. With rent to own, these scenarios can actually be answered. That dream is real, and it can come back to life for many people. We've done 3 podcasts on rent to own. I can talk to you more about it, but imagine a situation where you can be underwritten and quite possibly, instead of having to put 5% down, the person who you know can put down 3%, as little as 3%. And once they're underwritten, they work with their own real estate professional to buy the home that they want within the parameters of the underwriting. They can move into the house now once the deal is made. There is, of course, a landlord investor who takes on the financial side, puts up the mortgage, and has bought that house. And not just a landlord-tenant relationship. This is great. This is more as a joint venture partnership where the tenant buyer and the landlord investor have come to a written legal agreement that will help that tenant buyer eventually take over that home in the next 2 to 3 years, depending on how the contract is structured. My point to you is this: someone you love may have lost the dream of owning a home. And I'm suggesting to you that if you'll contact me, we will help you to see if that person or those kids or that family or the new to the country or people are having credit issues can actually get into a home now. It really does exist. Again, what one tolerates, one cannot change. Rent to own can make that change. You know, as seniors, baby boomers, I got to tell you, health is really, really important. I did not take care of my health in my younger years. I was hugely overweight, and being diabetic didn't help me, by the way. But I remember in my 30s, my physician said something to me that I never forgot. Let me share it with you. He said, Neil, you need to get into shape. You need to lose the weight. You need to take care of yourself, because in the future, you're going to fall. And I want you to bounce, not break. Bounce, not break. And I really did start to take care of myself. Yeah, I've got diabetes, so I take my medication and I do my positive thinking and I do my walking and I stay in shape and I eat properly and I do whatever it takes, because I'm not going to tolerate allowing diabetes to cause a negative effect on my life. By the way, in my 60s, I did fall. Oh, it was a humdinger of a fall, right on the ice, right onto my pavement. You know what my first thought was? Gee, I wonder how my cell phone is, because I know I'm fine. And I was, because I didn't break. So, ladies and gentlemen, it pays to work on your health. Don't tolerate that you're feeling terrible. See what you can do to change it and have the fun of doing it. You know, actually, for many of us, I'm sure that you can relate to wondering what to do as far as the home that you're in right now. Do you want to sell it? Do you want to keep it? Do you want to go into a senior's residence? Do you want to find something in between? What is it that we want to do? Well, I was in conversations this week, and I'm really excited, with a company called Susky Capital. These are the people who created Chartwell Residences, so you may be more familiar with them. And Your Gray Matters is going to work with Susky Capital to find the answers that you're looking for. Again, you don't have to tolerate what you have. If you want to make a change, these future podcasts could really help you. There'll be an announcement about Susky Capital and some of the shows that we're going to do in the description below. So please, after you like and subscribe, please read the description and go ahead and click on the link and have a look. Ladies and gentlemen, I learned that not all positive change feels good in the beginning. But man, you'll be glad if you at least did what you could to stop tolerating what bothers you and make that change. So we thank you for listening to Your Gray Matters, where we will continue to provide you with miraculous solutions that maybe you're not aware of. We're excited to keep doing it, and we thank you for tuning in today. Have a great week, everybody. Oh, by the way, I got to give a plug. Hey, if you're like me, you grew up and you loved Zeppelin and you loved Ozzy and Black Sabbath, the heavy metal stuff. That's just me. My son turned me on, a great group called Greta Van Fleet. I know it sounds funny to plug a band, but if you're into heavy music and you want to hear a great, great band, go find this group online. They're awesome. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Your Grey Matters podcast. The Your Grey Matters podcast was created by Neil Silvert and Jason Silvert, written and hosted by Neil Silvert, edited by me, Jason Silvert, and produced by Neil Silvert and Jason Silvert. Please follow us on any major podcast platform, watch us on YouTube, like and subscribe, and email us at yourgreymatterspod@gmail.com with any questions or feedback. Thanks for listening.
Views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the Your Grey Matters podcast. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The Your Grey Matters podcast name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.